Hello students, welcome to the video lectures of speech and natural language processing. So today we are going to talk about cohesion. So what is cohesion? So cohesion refers to the linguistic elements that link sentences and parts of a text, creating a sense of unity and flow. So I'll just repeat it. Cohesion refers to the linguistic elements that link sentences and parts of a text, creating a sense of unity and flow. So what is the key idea behind this cohesion would be, it is all about the surface level connectivity of the text through some explicit linguistic devices. Okay, that is how the cohesion is said to be. And basically it links the sentences and parts of a text, creating a sense of unity and flow. So then why is cohesion important? So basically the cohesion will ensure that the individual sentences are tied together logically and semantically. Then it also helps the readers or listeners follow the progression of ideas, and it affects readability and comprehension in both written and spoken discourse. Let us further enter into cohesion. Types of cohesion. So these are all the types of cohesions. First one is reference, next is substitution, then it's ellipsis, then conjunction, then lexical cohesion. So what is reference? Reference is words that point to other elements in the discourse. So what is this pointing of other element in the discourse is, for example, if I say a sentence like John is happy, he is smiling. So now you can observe that John is happy. So the reason is it is followed by another thing, that is he is smiling. So John is happy, full stop, he is smiling. That is, it is referring back to something which is mentioned earlier. That is what the example will convey you. And basically in reference we have anaphora, cataphora and exophora. So we'll discuss about them in the forthcoming slides. So then next is substitution. So replacing a word or phrase with another to avoid a repetition is substitution. So replacing a word or phrase means, let us say an example. I prefer the red shirt. Do you prefer that one? A question mark. So basically you observe now. So replacing a word or phrase with another to avoid repetition. That is, I prefer the red shirt. Full stop. Do you prefer that one? Question mark. So this example will clear it. Then we talk about ellipsis. So ellipsis is omitting parts of a sentence that are understood from context. For example, if I say, do you want tea or coffee? So tea. Suppose the answer, let us say, we say tea. So this is what we want, right? So that is omitting the parts of a sentence that are understood from the context. So then we talk about conjunction. So it is linking sentences with logical connectors. So what are logical connectors are? They are mentioned in various categories. So if I say a word called and, that falls under additive. And if I say however, but, these fall under adversative. And if I say because, as a result, therefore, these words fall under casual. And if I say then, after that, meanwhile, these all falls under temporal. So basically it is divided into four types. What this conjunction? So additive category contains and, moreover, further. Okay. And adversative type of conjunction will have but, however, on the other hand. And casual conjunction type will have because, therefore, as a result of. And temporal will have then, after that, meanwhile. Then we talk about lexical cohesion. So this is using the vocabulary to link parts of the text. So in this, we need to talk about three things again. Lexical cohesion. First one is repetition, then is synonyms, then is collocations. So when I say repetitions, so repeating the key terms. For example, if I say the cat jumped, the cat ran. So we are using multiple times the word cat here. Then synonyms. So synonyms is using the similar words. For example, we can say like he bought a car, the vehicle was expensive. Okay. And collocations. So words which naturally occur together are called collocations, as you all know. For example, strong coffee, commit a crime. These are all the examples. So then we talk about cohesion versus coherence. So cohesion is surface level connections through linguistic devices. Coherence is the logical and semantic relationships that makes the text meaningful. So here is the best example with which you can understand cohesion and coherence. So cohesion is because it was raining, I stayed home. So because is linking the sentences. Next, coherence is understanding why rain caused staying home is coherence. Hope you got this. So because it was raining, I stayed home is cohesion. That is linking of the sentences. Surface level connections through linguistic devices. Coherence is the logical and semantic relationships that makes the text meaningful. That is understanding why rain caused staying. Then it is cohesion in NLP. So these are all the applications we have. First one is co-reference resolution. So identifying reference of pronouns and noun phrases. And then text summarization is another application of cohesion in NLP, ensuring cohesive links are maintained in the summary. Then it is about dialogue systems, generating responses that connect cohesively to prior user inputs. And the challenges are ambiguity and long distance dependencies between cohesive elements. So you can see the example is given for ambiguity. He saw John and Mark. He waved. So who is he here? So he as in John or Mark. That's an ambiguity in references. Second one is long distance dependencies between cohesive elements. Okay. So then we talk about reference resolution. Uh, we talk about reference resolution. So reference resolution is the process of identifying the entities or objects that linguistic expressions, example pronouns, definite noun phrases, refer to in a discourse. Okay. Once again, I'll repeat it. Reference resolution is the process of identifying the entities or objects that linguistic expressions refer to in a discourse. So key types of references, as we have seen in the initial slides of this particular video lecture, we talked about references, right? So in that we have anaphora, cataphora, exophora, and co-reference. So what these are, we'll see. For example, anaphora refers to something mentioned earlier in the discourse. That is backward looking reference. So for example, John went home because he was tired. So here he refers to John. So if we take cataphora, which refers to something mentioned later in the discourse, we call this as forward looking reference. For example, before he spoke, John took a deep breath. Understood? For cataphora, I am telling you the example. Before he spoke, John took a deep breath. So he refers to John. So this is your forward looking reference. Then we talk about exophora, which refers to something outside the text or discourse, often in the physical context. For example, look at that. So that refers to an object in the environment. Okay. So that is exophora. Then we see co-reference here. So when two or more expressions in the text refer to the same entity, we term that as co-reference. For example, John loves his dog. He walks it every day. So John is referring to he, dog is for it. Hope you got this. That is co-reference. Then why is reference resolution important? So that is coherence ensures a logical and connected, interpretation of discourse. Then applications. First is machine translation and maintaining reference across languages. Then is dialogue systems, understanding the user intent across turns. Then is text summarization, for example, preserving key entities. Then question answering systems, resolving who does he refer to is the example. That is your question answering one. Challenges in reference resolution. So ambiguity. So first one is ambiguity. Then second is long distance dependencies. Third is context sensitivity. Fourth is plural and collective references. So we have seen ambiguity, long distance earlier, and context sensitivity is resolving references may require world knowledge or understanding of the domain. Then plural and collective references. Example, John and Mary entered the room. They sat down. Okay. That is your plural and collective references. Then next we talk about discourse coherence. Okay. So what is discourse coherence? So coherence refers to the logical, meaningful, and consistent connection between sentences or utterances in discourse. So it allows a text or conversation to make sense as a whole. So key elements in this are logical flow of ideas, semantic relationships between discourse units, that is cause, effect, or contrast. Then is relevance to the topic or context. So example of coherent discourse. First one is John was hungry. He went to the kitchen to make a sandwich. Next example for incoherent discourse. John was hungry. The weather outside was cold. Okay. So then we talk about discourse structure. So discourse structure refers to the hierarchical organization of discourse units. Example, sentences, clauses, and their interrelations. So models of discourse structure are rhetorical structure theory, we call RST, which represents discourse as a tree structure. So nodes are text spans are discourse units, which is part of our rhetorical structure theory, and edges are rhetorical relations like elaboration, contrast, or cause effect. Example of RST is John was late because the bus broke down. So the sentences here you find as span 1 and span 2 are John was late is span 1, and because the bus broke down is your second span. So now the relation is the cause and effect relation. That means in between span 1 and span 2, so you can observe that. So John was late. Why he is late? So he was late because the bus have broke down, right? So that is how the relation is established of regarding this cause and effect. Then coherence, so which focuses on meaningful connection between parts of the text, and then we see just the reference. We try to understand the relationship between coherence and structure in this. So coherence focuses on the meaningful connection between parts of the text, where a structure will focus on the hierarchical and relational organization of the text. So both are interdependent, where a coherent discourse usually has a clear structure and a well-structured discourse enhances coherence. This is the relation between them. So challenges in discourse coherence and structure. So first is ambiguity. For example, he was upset. It started raining. So this is casual or coincidental. So we fall in this ambiguity now. So he was upset. It started raining. Right. So long distance dependencies. So maintaining coherence across multiple sentences or paragraphs. Then domain specific knowledge. Some relations require external knowledge or context. So thank you, students.